Welcome to the Loveland Report and the LoanArranger radio show. I'm Bruce Woodburn, the LoanArranger, alongside Cleve, Loveland Properties, the oldest running real estate talk show, radio show in the history of the planet, with Cleve Loveland and his amazing team here. Hope you're having a great weekend. It's a great time to be out looking at property. I got Cleve Loveland right here with us. And he's going to bring us up to speed on what's going on in the market, some listings that he's got, and how you can navigate in 2022 when it comes to buying real estate. You and I have been teaching some classes on this, Cleve. And how's your weekend going?
Good. I mean, it's still busy. And what I'm seeing, though, is I'm seeing a few more. We'll see some numbers. Inventory's been sitting like 1/3 of what it was over the past 5 years. And, you know, homes average time selling is about 20 days. I'm doing about 7 to 10 days on average. But the national headlines is about how people are having to drop their price. Oh, my gosh. And you know why? It's because everybody goes, oh, they're getting that. They're getting that. Every price is a record. Now, when you do a record asking price, that doesn't always translate to a record sales price. No. So I think what we're going to see is we'll start seeing some numbers about, oh my gosh, 50% of the people out there had to adjust their price.
Well, I think that they should adjust their price. I mean, you can't just continue to go at a 20% depreciation rate per year. Yeah. That's not sustainable, and we all knew it wasn't
sustainable. And the numbers,
sustainable.
And it's funny, the stats will start to show that, you know, they might say that the average price dropped last month. Well, that doesn't mean your home price went down. It just means that many homes at that price sold. So I think we'll see some of that.
Or they could have reduced their price. Mm-hmm. I mean, come on. We are seeing so many people come in and offering $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $100,000 over ask price just to get the property. But we're seeing less of that, and I'm glad we're going to see less of that.
Well, people are thinking twice. They're at the gas pump. They're watching their portfolios dwindle. Let's go, Brandon. But it's just, this is the environment we're in. But what's funny is that Florida will slow down less and speed up faster. So,
of course it will.
And I see headlines, it just cracks me up, how price appreciation will be less. We'll still have price appreciation.
Well,
but it will be less. It won't be 25% like it was 2 years ago, things like that.
You know what? A lot of folks, Cleve, are a little bit more concerned now. I mean, they're hearing looming threats of a recession coming about. They see their gas prices are going through the roof. They see their grocery prices are way up right now. And it's kind of frightening to people. And so when you and I look at the market, we try to find out where's the holes that we can still take advantage of this, because I don't think that there's ever a time that you should pull away or stick your head in a hole like an ostrich. There are opportunities and there's money to be made in every market.
Well, here's the thing about the home buyers out there. Not everybody's a first-time home buyer. And if they've got a house, their interest rate's probably in the 3s.
Probably.
Or 4s if they bought in the last year. But their cash flow, if they decide they got two choices. They want to get a better home or have to move for whatever reason. They want to go to a bigger house, smaller house, more yard, less yard. Kids, twins on the way, got to get a bigger home. The house they have, if they rent it, like we do with our Leapfrog program, we show them how to rent that house, buy another primary. Their cash flow on that is good income. Rents are up. Let's say their mortgage payment's $1,800, their rent's going to be $3,000 a month. There's cash flow there. And then if they've also got great equity if they want to sell. If they bought it anytime, like if they bought it more than 2 years ago, they could probably sell and walk away with plus, you know, their down payment plus, even after the cost of selling. So people are making good equity. Then there's the people, let's say from 3 to 5 years ago, that did a 15-year note. How much equity have they built up? And
lots of equity.
Yeah, and so there's all these things. And I think I've talked more about or seen more people grab a 15-year note in the past 3-4 years. And since COVID started, I just think I've seen more people getting 15-year notes. And you did a lot more 15s than you did.
I did a lot of 15 years.
Yeah,
I have a 15-year.
Those people are building equity quick. So that's your hedge against inflation and the market slowing. But I just don't see, we will see a turn and we'll know when inventory, a seller's market is less than a 6-month supply of homes. That means we could have inventory could triple, and we'd
still be in a seller's market.
And we could do 1,500 sales a month. Well, right now we're doing 4,000 sales a month, or 3,500 sales a month, not even including new construction, which has got a backlog and a supply chain crisis. And they're just not going to drop their prices. They're not going to go, okay, this is over.
Can't.
We're back to building homes in 5 months. We're at $420 for this house. We're going to drop the price to $389. They can't do it.
They can't do it because their cost to build that house has increased with inflation.
And these evil big companies, their profit margins aren't 30, 40, 50%, these massive companies. So let's see the government stepping in we talk about rent controls, and you're not going to get that.
You know what rent control is.
The best one is a 30-year mortgage, right?
30-year fixed rate mortgage. There's rent control for you.
But these things are not going to adjust and fall back to where they were. Just like my parents' first home, I think, was $28,000.
Right.
And it's just not going to go back that way.
Of course it's not going to go back that way. But you know what? It's funny that we talked about the move-up buyers, the ones that have all the equity in their property, but there is some hope for the first-time home buyer. Because as these prices do settle a little bit, they're not going to go down, but they're not going to go up as sharply moving into the future. They will still experience appreciation, so buying is the right thing. But we just had a great program has been rolled out by Florida Housing called Hometown Heroes.
So this is a Florida program.
It is in other states, but it's through Florida Housing, so it is a Florida program.
Okay.
Now, it will allow for up to $25,000 in down payment assistance toward closing costs and down payment. And you have to fall into one of 50 categories. So there's a lot of open categories.
Okay.
You have to be a first-time home buyer unless you're a veteran.
Okay.
Then you don't have to be a first-time home buyer. First-time home buyer is somebody that has not owned a home in the last 3 years. Now, you have to fall into a specific occupation. So your occupation tells whether you qualify for that program, but it's designed for veterans, police, first responders, healthcare workers, educators.
Does the veteran still have to be in one of those specific jobs?
No, the veteran qualifies on their own.
Okay, good.
Right? And there's certain programs that veterans qualify for that may be different than Hometown Heroes, because there's a Save Our Soldiers program as well that they can get into. And depending on whether you're active duty or you are out of the military, depends on which type of those programs you might qualify for. But the nice thing is that if you now have the ability to get this down payment assistance money, that is really what gets in most first-time home buyers' ways.
Yeah.
They just don't have any
down
cash.
Payment, yeah. Mm-hmm.
They don't have enough cash. Now, there are requirements that you have to have a certain percentage of your own money into the transaction. This isn't all free money. And this particular type of program, you must repay the money. It's not a forgivable second mortgage per se.
Now, is that paid back when you sell, or paid back like a second note? You get 2 mortgage bills for the first year you own the house?
You would not have to, if you stayed in that house for your entire life, you would not have to pay that back until you sold the home, or refinanced it, or rented it out.
Okay.
You can't do any of those things and get free government money.
Okay.
As soon as you do, they activate it. So, but here's the thing. I've got all the programs. I've got all the do's and don'ts about this. All you have to do is pick up the phone and call me at 407-250-9144. That's 407-250-9144. Any questions at all regarding this program? If you'd like, go ahead and apply online at webringyouhome.com. Write that down, webringyouhome.com. Apply for it. Get on the phone with one of my qualified loan officers that are trained in this program and every other down payment assistance program. But listen, this is going to open the door for the first-time home buyer. Now, here's the thing. Is it still a good time to buy? Because we all know interest rates are up.
Rents are going up. If rents were plummeting, then maybe you wait. And of course, everybody knows you can always time the stock market or time the real estate market. That works really well.
Yeah, it sure does. And listen, here's what Cleve and I are committed to helping you. So Cleve has got a great team of buyers agents. We can help you find the right house. My team and I will help you get qualified for the right program. You can call Cleve at 407-352-8118. That's 407-352-8118. We can all give you all the details. But I'm going to teach a class on this, Cleve, and I think you are.
Yeah, what's the date on that class so we can get all the details?
That is Hometown Heroes class for FHA, VA, USDA, and conventional loans is going to be Wednesday, July 20th from 6 to 7:30 at Miller's Ale House in Winter Park. I only have about 45 seats available on that. I don't know how many Jeanette already has booked. It's $20 per head to get in, or $30 per couple. But listen, this program will pay off for you, and we'll find the right one. If Hometown Heroes isn't the right one for you, then maybe it's Orange County Down Payment Assistance, or Seminole County DPA, or City of Orlando, all different types of other programs that we're going to talk about on how you could become a homeowner in a challenging market like 2022.
And and basically, if somebody's going to save for a house, so let's say most people can get an FHA,
right?
They're going to qualify, and the average house. I was just looking for one of my vendors is buying a house through us. I saw some great houses anywhere between $320 and $400, depending on where you want to be in town.
Absolutely.
And so let's say $350. You need 5%, 6% with your closing costs or so. So that's 6 times 3. We're 18. We're about $22,000.
Right.
So right now, if you can save $500 a month, what's that going to be? That's going to be a year and a half, 2 years.
But here's the thing: you can get if you
qualify,
for
this
a
would
down
help.
payment
Yeah.
assistance program. That's one thing. But what about helping? What about all of you folks? Because we have a mature listening group generally for our demographic for these shows. However, there are people out there that are going to leave their children and grandchildren money, and that money is going to go to a Boston Whaler, a big screen TV, a George Foreman grill, and probably a car that they normally wouldn't afford.
Yeah.
That won't last.
Yep.
Or we could help them get into a home. Why not help more people now become homeowners? If you have the money and you're going to leave it to your children or grandchildren, why not do it now? I can protect all that hard-earned money that you've saved to make sure it goes to the right place. You just call me at 407-250-9144 or get those little chillins to apply online at webringyouhome.com. Cleve?
All right. We've got some numbers coming in on inventory and around the country. Around the MLS for Central Florida is a bunch of different counties, all the way from like Tampa up into Daytona Beaches. And one thing I saw there, number of listings up slightly, very slightly, just a little bit. Still a seller's market by far. Only about, each market has, when I look for a buyer, there's a couple homes and they need to get out and look at them quickly. What I watch when I'm looking at these numbers too is these listings, how many days on the market. And I think that's going to start to climb a little bit. And I can't get the stats on price changes, but when I'm looking at homes and I kind of say, hey, wait, that went pending after 35 days on the market or 45 days on the market, it's probably had a price adjustment in there. Or I know it wasn't a full price. But when they sell in 3 to 10 days, they probably had multiple offers on them. So it's just something to watch, and I see what's happening slowly out there. And what it is people keep pushing and pushing and pushing the price. We don't, I've got a job because I've got to show people the facts of how to get the home sold and not, I just want to get $9.99 for my house. My neighbors are selling for $4.99. It doesn't work that way. So, but there's always that guy out there that thinks he can do that.
Well, and you still see sellers trying to play the game that they were playing 6 months ago or 4 months ago even, and I'm not seeing it happen. I have a client right now, but matter of fact, a couple of them that have backed out of deals where the seller's coming back and wanting them to pay over appraised value. And theyey're just saying, no, I'm not going to do that
in this
anymore.
Market, yeah.
I'm not going to do that.
There's lots of other considerations. Yeah, there's and the other thing too, if you're thinking about selling, the problem some people have had, they're stuck in the house. You couldn't get your offer in contingent on a closing. Now, what I was doing is getting people a lease back in the home, then they can go shop, and they have no contingencies to shop with. And when they go looking for their home, they're just making an offer saying, I'm qualified, the loan is fast-tracked, it's all done. So I think this market loosens up a little bit. That will actually help bring more inventory in, which is a good thing to open it up. So what will happen? What'll happen is there'll be a bunch more homes selling that we'll see inventory jump up each month. So, and I can kind of tell I'm getting a few more phone calls in my office, but I'm also getting that phone call, Bruce, of the person who was on for 90 days and did not sell. Well, and that's rare. And so what I do is I can walk through your house, tell you what fix-ups you need to do. I've got a 50-point staging checklist. I can tell you all the things to do. Normally we spend about 1 to 2% of the value to get stuff fixed up. If you can't do that, we can price it accordingly. But I walk into some of these homes, Bruce, and they look like a garage sale. You can't look like that and expect to get a record price. That's the hard part. Or I ask them where'd that price come from. They go, I don't know. The other agent picked it. And where's your other agent? Oh, it was an online service.
My neighbor sold for $450, so I should be able to sell for $5.
Yeah, that doesn't work that way. You've got to it's got to make sense. So that's what we do at Loveland Properties. We'll help you get sold, get marketed right, and also plan the next part of your move. Where are you going, and how do we coordinate that?
Yep. And just before we cut for the next break, I want to talk about another class that I'm going to be teaching on July the 15th. At Outback Steakhouse, and it's going to be on construction perm lending. This class is for the general public, and it's for real estate agents. But if you are not super familiar with construction perm lending and how it works, I'm going to teach you how to do that. Many folks don't want to buy that production home. They want to build their own home. So we're going to tell you how to do that. Cleve and I will be back in 5 minutes with more of the Loveland Report and the Loan Arranger radio show. Stay tuned. We have more information to help you save money when it comes to purchasing your home in this market.
And we are back on the Loveland Report and the Loan Arranger Show. I am Cleve Loveland, bringing you all of your real estate news, and Bruce is bringing us all the mortgage news and what's going on with rates. How do you get your house up for sale? How do you qualify to buy your next home? How do you get fast track so your offer goes to the top of the pile? Right now, I've got some listings real quick I want to talk about. I've got an awesome one in Williamsburg, right by SeaWorld.
I love Williamsburg.
Beautiful.
You know, it's still priced right.
That's a beautiful. That's a beautiful
great
location. This house is $350,000, all redone, 2 bedrooms, 2 baths. Nice big back porch, 2-car garage, which is unusual in this neighborhood. Tile roof, which is new. It's a new tile roof.
Yep.
Now, some of these 1980s, 1970s, 80s homes with tile roofs, they're going to need new roofs pretty soon. The insurance company's going to start requiring that. This one's got a new tile roof, and I've got that for $349,900. I've got lakefront in Dr. Phillips for $1,650,000, and this house is 5 bedrooms, 5 baths, with a pool, with a 3-car garage. You are waterfront with a beautiful view of the iDrive skyline at night. You've got fireworks off the back porch, the front porch. You got fireworks to the north of you from Universal Studios. 4,400 square feet in a beautiful neighborhood. This is a direct lakefront on the Sand Lake chain of lakes with a boat dock and lift. So call me if you'd like to take a look at any of these. I've also got some new home construction, Bruce. What's happening with some of the builders? These rates rising. People went to contract 6 months ago, 9 months ago,
and don't qualify.
And also now they don't qualify. So one of my friends at this community in Deltona, she had 2 homes pop back on the market right away. One at $350,000 and one at $399,000. And these are 1,800 and 2,000 square feet respectively. And so these deals are going to pop up. We sold one in Kissimmee. The builder closed on it in 10 days. It fell apart at $500,000. Buyer didn't qualify. Our cash buyer jumped in there and got a great deal on a house at the old contract pricing, because that house to build again now would be about $30,000 more.
Well, I'm surprised they sold it at that contract pricing, because builders right now, they're telling the clients, if you don't qualify, that's fine. Just cancel the transaction. We'll keep your deposit.
Yeah.
And we'll resell the house for more money than you paid for it.
Well, that's why it's important they qualify up front. But if you got questions on any of these listings, call me at 407-352-8118.
So, right now we're finding the market is starting to stabilize a little bit more, because we're seeing inflation rising at rapid rates. I mean, we saw the consumer price index was at 8.6%. We're seeing extraordinarily inflation rates, but the housing market is still active. So we see it starting to slow, but it's still very active. And the price of houses are still going up every month. They're not going up as sharply, but it's still a great buying opportunity.
Yeah.
And so I personally, I saw my new business leads fell by about 8% last month. So that tells me that there's a little bit of concern going on in the market. However, when I look at this, I'm like, what are your alternatives? Are your alternatives to stay renting or to stay in the house that you're at? Now, a lot of people may choose to stay in the house that they're at, Cleve, because like you said, they got a 3.5% interest rate. They don't want to go to the higher interest rates right now. But if they are really, as your family grows and you need a bigger home.
Well, jobs change, families grow.
There's always a
people
reason.
die, people get divorced, things like that. I mean, life is still going to go on. Mom and dad, one of them has to go into assisted living. Or both, and they, what do we do with the old house? I got 2 gentlemen that called me about property management. Both of them, their relatives going into assisted living. They're going to rent the houses, make a great cash flow on them until they might need to sell them. But they want the income right now to help defray the costs of assisted living.
Well, I think that's a great opportunity. We all need ways to defray our cost or to be able to create income for us when we retire. And that's one of the things that Cleve and I help you with. If you have questions about that, all you have to do is call us. We'll show you how you can amass a lot of wealth when it comes to your real estate. You should have a portfolio of real estate. We teach a class called Leapfrog, where we will help you buy the first home, then rent it, buy another one, rent it. All you need are 5 properties. By the end of 5 properties, we will have you making about $28,000 a month in income, and you'll have about $4.5 million worth of free and clear property. We'll show you how to do it, and we'll do it the way we did it. We'll be back in 5 minutes with more of the Loveland Report and the Loan Arranger Show with Cleve Loveland, Bruce Woodburn. 407-352-8118 or 407-250-9144 for the Loan Arranger.
And we are back on the Loveland Report, the Loan Arranger Show. I am Cleve Loveland, I think the world's longest running real estate radio talk show host, alongside Bruce Woodburn, the Loan Arranger. And we want to talk about rates. You know, we hear about the Fed raising rates, and rates have gone from the 3s. They were sitting there for a couple of years, maybe even lower, and now we're in the 5s, Bruce. And the trend probably with
pushing the 6s.
That's
already.
with the Fed raising rates. That's what I was going to ask about. So we'll probably head that way. Still, that's what rates were 12, 14 years ago.
It really is. So listen, here's the thing that I know is going to freak people out, but the fact of the matter is it's not deterring me from buying property. I'm buying property right now.
Yeah.
And if I'm buying property, that should be a signal, because they call us Ask the Experts, and we're experts for a reason, okay? Because we know what we're doing.
T-shirt? I got the T-shirt.
We should have the T-shirt that says Ask the Experts. And we got to talk to the radio station about that. But here's the thing. Rates are going up. They're going to continue to go up. I don't care. I'm going to tell you, we're going to refinance you later on anyway. I'm going to refinance the houses I just bought once rates settle down. But that might not be for 4 or 5 more years.
Yeah.
That could take that much time for them to go down. So what am I going to do? Miss out on 4 to 5 years in the market when I could be in the market and make money on my properties?
Yep.
That's my goal. I don't care about the rate. Listen, for every 1 point that the rate goes up is going to cost you about $200 a month. But for every $50,000 that the house goes up, costs you $315 a month. Don't let both of those add up.
Well, this is why I sit down with people and I'll go over these things like, well, wait a minute. Your old mortgage payment's $1,800. We're going to rent the house for $2,900. You're going to cash flow $1,000 extra a month. Plus get some tax write-offs each year with depreciation. It's going to save you a couple $100 a month. So I go through these things with people and plot out a budget. You want to buy at $500,000? Check with Bruce. We'll see what your rate's at. Let him get you fast-tracked. We know exactly where you're at. Be ready and perched and just right on the fence, waiting to jump on something like a buzzard on roadkill.
Yep. And
just you'll see the deal that comes along for you when you're ready to shop.
Great analogy.
So, and it's just that's the way you've got to be set up. I'm fast-tracked. You guys help me with my. Yep. I'm ready and waiting for that buy to come along. And I'm going to jump on it because I see them. Usually sometimes I see them before they get to market when people want to list with me. I'm like, well, hey, would you do this now? And I'll get a good buy on something. But it's important you're in touch with an expert. And when you get them fast-tracked, that's the important thing.
Fast track is a full loan approval. It's not a pre-approval. It's not a pre-qualification. It's a full loan approval. The only thing we're missing is title insurance, the contract on the house, and the appraisal. So your loan is ready to go. So then I can offer the seller a guaranteed close time, or I'll pay the seller up to $500 American dollars a day for every day that we miss that closing.
Actually, there might be some other dollars out there worth more than the American dollar right now.
There probably is right now.
Thanks to Joe.
Yeah.
But right now, I mean, I think it's just important to get into something. I don't have anybody call me, even when I sold homes during and after the bubble, like, oh my gosh, I should have never bought that. It's just so horrible. You got to have a place to live. Why pay a landlord? Why get rich? Get the landlord rich. You should be building your own portfolio.
Absolutely.
We can help you do that.
And it's not complicated, because you think about this. Your rental properties, it's like having somebody else deposit money into your 401k for you every month.
Yep.
It just doesn't make any sense not to do it. It's the easiest way I've ever seen to amass wealth. And I've made mistakes in real estate. One of them, I sold properties too early. Mm-hmm. One of them, I didn't buy enough properties when I should have.
Yeah.
And guess what?
It's very hard to time it, but
buy and hold. Because we're afraid.
Buy and hold.
Right?
Yep.
Now, I should have bought properties in 2010. Yep. And I saw people doing it, but I was operating out of fear, and I didn't do it. But if I look back, I would have gone, even if I had to beg, steal, and borrow to buy more houses in 2010, my net worth would have been a whole lot bigger.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
well, I think it's personal to each family and what's important for them, what offers them security. I'd still like everybody to have most of their money with their financial planner. That's why we talk about leapfrog. You don't have to empty your savings to put 25% down.
No, you don't.
Because normally you need 25. With rates now, you need almost 25 or 30% down to cash flow.
well, for me, because I'm buying investment properties, I'm putting 25% down on everything.
Yeah, but so you'll cash flow with a little bit more down.
I will. I'll cash flow.
I remember during the bubble, we had 100% financing loans. We had 80,
but
20s.
that was silly.
That
That's what got us into
and that's
trouble.
What does make, they're not doing that yet. Or now. They won't do it again.
No, it's illegal to do those anymore.
Yep.
But here, let's talk about, you asked me about interest rates. So last week, the market, we lost about 150 basis points on the bond market. We want bonds to be up, not down. And mortgage rates are tied directly to the bond market. So when bonds are down, it's costing you money. Now, let's put that in perspective for you. For every 100 basis points that the market goes up or down, either makes you or costs you 1 point toward your closing costs. So if we lost 150 basis points in 1 week, that cost you 1.5 points that you otherwise wouldn't have had to pay. Now, that was last week. This week, we started off Monday, right off the bat, down 84 basis points. So in 1 day, we lost almost another full point in rate.
Is it always true? I mean, if the stock market does horrible, does that mean the bond market does better? Or
well, in a typical market, you will see a teeter-totter effect. So if bonds are doing poorly, then we're making money on stock market. And if the stock is doing poorly, we're getting better on interest rates. But nowadays, with the way that the economy is working, neither one of those traditional factors come into place.
Yeah.
So right now we're seeing the stock market crash and the bond market crash.
Wonderful.
I think it's great. I mean, this government is doing such a great job.
That's what everybody voted for last November.
Yeah, they all voted for that.
2 years ago.
They're doing such a
ago.
good job. I just thank Mr. Biden every time I fill up my tank.
It'll turn around.
Oh, my God.
But the good news is about Central Florida, everybody's moving here from the rest of the country and from other parts of Florida because we are less expensive. Believe it or not, we're one of the least expensive areas in Florida. You go to the coast, it costs more to be close to the water. Jacksonville, water everywhere.
For sure.
The coastal cities. It's just more expensive there. And we've got no natural barriers to stop us from expanding. And Orlando just keeps sprawling. And now it's like even outside the Beltway, you just see more and more construction.
Yep. They took over Claremont and all out even further out than Claremont and Groveland, and now it's moved over and you're starting to see areas like St. Cloud exploding. I'm buying in Ocala and I'm buying in Daytona, two areas that I think are buying opportunities. Listen, you can still buy a house under $300,000 in Daytona in a nice neighborhood.
Yeah.
And so granted, to Orlando, it's a 50-minute drive.
And population drives that, but that median price house, that first time buyer's house, the downsizer's house, and the landlord's house is always that smaller home. It's not the mega mansion.
Right.
It's not the 3,500 square footer with a pool and a gorgeous water view.
No, but you can't tell me you can't get into a home. Granted, you may have to drive a little bit or get a job closer to that area, but you can still that's rent control. Mm-hmm. Rent control is a 30-year fixed rate mortgage. I can stop the bleeding because rents aren't going to come down.
Yep. All right, Bruce. Well, I've got 5 contracts sitting on the front seat of my car. I got to go visit some sellers, and I got a couple landlords to go talk to about putting their houses into the Leapfrog program. We're going to get them started, and they're going to buy their next home. So I've got to run. If anybody needs to call me, it's 407-352-8118. My team and I are working all weekend. You can always reach me. If you want to get your house ready to go on the market, you need my 50-point staging checklist. Your tenant's not paying your rent or not paying the late fees. We will take that headache off your plate. If you need to buy a house, you can't find one. I have so many people calling me saying, I've made 7 offers over the past year. I'm like, well, you got the wrong person guiding you there.
Absolutely.
And so give me a call, 407-352-8118, and y'all have a great weekend.
Yep. And if you have any questions for Cleve, I'll be on the air for the rest of the show. And I can direct you to his team today while you're out looking at property or considering buying a property. If you have questions about getting qualified for financing and what programs are available out there, are we starting to look at adjustable rate mortgages again? Is that really in the picture? Or are we going to stick with the 30-year fixed rate mortgages right now and 15-year fixed rate mortgages? I tell you, I don't care whether you do a 15 or a 30, we're probably going to be refinancing in 5 years anyway. So why take the risk? We're going to refi. So who cares? It's going to happen. What we have to do is hold out and wait for those rates to come back down again. But I don't see that happening. I couldn't even gauge when I think that's going to happen, because I think we're into this for at least 5 years. And I think even if we can get Sleepy Joe out of office and start getting this country back in shape again, it would still take a president their first term just to make that happen. It's really gotten a little bit crazy out there. But so when we talk about that, and Cleve and I always promise to give you the good, the bad, and the ugly. Okay. So the ugly is rates are way up. Housing prices continue to soar. Cost of fuel is up. Cost of groceries is up. Can't get baby formula. I mean, these are weird times. That's the bad and the ugly, right? What's the good news? The price of houses are still rising. Now, that might sound like bad news if you don't own one. But if you own one, you're making money. And that's my goal, is to help you become a homeowner no matter what. And you should be seeking. It should be your only thing that you're truly focused on. I see people out there and they're spending money frivolously. Listen, you got to tighten up to become a homeowner. It takes responsibility to be a homeowner. And some folks out there just shouldn't be homeowners. You shouldn't. We call them BTRs, born to rent. You're never going to be responsible enough. You always have excuses about why your bills are paid late, why you didn't pay your taxes on time, why you got extensions. I mean, it's just excuse after excuse. And yeah, you're going to give me reasons. But here's the deal. You can have reasons or you can have results. But if you're renting right now and you haven't made every conscious effort to become a homeowner, then shame on you, because you're going to miss out on a huge opportunity. And I hate to be firm with you, but the fact of the matter is somebody needs to be. You have to get your act together so that you are in a position to own real estate. You cannot be a renter and make any money. There's no such thing as a rich renter. So I'm teaching a class on Hometown Heroes program. It will give you up to $25,000 for eligible people that qualify under this program. First-time homebuyer program, unless you're a veteran. And I'm going to be teaching this class to realtors and the general public on Wednesday, July 20th from 6 to 7:30. It's $20 a head to get in, $30 per couple. I will have food and drinks available. Okay. Now, this is not a sit-down meal at Christner's or Del Frisco's. This is going to be a learning environment. I'm going to have some food available, but I only have like 45 seats, and I don't know how many Jeanette has already got booked up. But if you want in on this and you want to be able to take advantage of this, or you are a real estate agent and want to understand it more, I suggest that real estate agents don't talk about down payment assistance, don't suggest it to a client, don't even mention it if you haven't been to a class on your own. It's just misleading people. Certain people qualify, certain people don't. Some people qualify and it's not the right thing for them to do. Others don't qualify and then go to a weekend program and get certified for something that they don't even qualify for. That's ridiculous. It's a waste of your time. Know what you're going to get before you go out there and try to get it. That is my class on July 20th from 6 to 7:30. Register at webringyouhome.com. Right now, you go to my website, go to webringyouhome.com, July 20th for Hometown Heroes class. We're also going to be discussing other low down payment transactions as well on how you can take advantage of this market. Now, for those of you that don't want a production home because you can't even park your jet ski in the side yard, you can't leave a work truck around, you want your own property, you want to build your own home, and you want to buy a lot or you already own a lot, I'm going to be teaching a construction perm class that is geared toward real estate agents and folks that may want to utilize that program. All you got to do is go to my website at webringyouhome.com. That's going to be construction perm class on July 15th from 11:30 to 1. This will be at lunchtime at Outback Steakhouse in Claremont. If you're a real estate agent in Claremont, you need to get into that class right away. That is a must-see, must-go-to class, because not every lender has construction perms, and most lenders don't even have close to the construction perm lending that I do at CrossCountry Mortgage, the Loan Arranger. If you would like to apply for a mortgage, you want any help whatsoever, I would be honored to assist you, your clients, your friends, your family with their mortgage. Go to webringyouhome.com and apply, or call me directly at 407-250-9144. That's 407-250-9144. I'll be back in 5 minutes with more of the Loveland Report and the Loan Arranger radio show. Welcome back to the Loveland Report and the Loan Arranger radio show. My name is Bruce Woodburn, and I am the Loan Arranger alongside Cleve Loveland of Loveland Properties, the longest running real estate radio talk show in the history of the planet. And Cleve is out and about. He's had a couple of contracts he had to meet with some folks on today, and has left the show to me. Can you imagine leaving the show to me? It's unbelievable. So, and listen, if you like to listen to my show, the Loan Arranger radio show, you can always tune in at 11 o'clock on Sundays. And we have a little bit different topics all around real estate and money and finance. But feel free to tune into my show on Sundays at 11 o'clock. I'd be honored to have you as a listener. Let's talk about what's going on in the market in this last segment, because we only got a few minutes to wrap up this show. So interest rates just got hammered again. Stock market got hammered. The cost of fuel is up. The cost of groceries are up. The price of houses are continuing to rise. I mean, it's just one thing after another. I don't think any of us can look back and go, wow, the economy's doing a lot better with this administration than it did with the last. It's absolutely impossible to say that, no matter what side of the fence you're on. So here's the thing. I do have some light at the end of the tunnel, and here it is. The Florida State Housing Authority has come up with a brand new program called Hometown Heroes, and I am participating in Hometown Heroes, and I'm going to be teaching a class on how to take advantage of this special down payment assistance program that was designed for our local heroes, the ones that don't wear capes, the ones that do so much, the teachers, educators, law enforcement, first responders, veterans, active military duty, all of these. So if you fall into that category, I'm going to be teaching a class on how you can capitalize on this on Wednesday, July 20th from 6 to 7:30 at Miller's Ale House in Winter Park. And that is reserve only. I got 45 seats available. I don't know how many are booked already. I'll have to check with Jeanette, my marketing director, to see how many are left, but it is $20 a head to get in, or $30 per couple to get in. I will have some food and drinks available, but this is learning how to take advantage of the Hometown Heroes program and other down payment assistance programs that may be available to help the most disadvantaged in this market, and that is our first-time home buyers. It's been a real struggle for you, seeing the prices of interest rates go up, the prices of houses go up, it's costing you more to rent. And here's the thing, we're hearing a lot about rent control right now. Rent control is the topic of the news. Here's the thing about rent control. Florida is not going to enact the rent control. It's not going to happen, and nor do I think they should. You know what rent control is? It's going to tell you, get into a home, a 30-year fixed rate mortgage. That's rent control. It never changes. Your payments will be the same for the rest of your life. It never changes. So that's how you protect yourself against your rent. Then I'm going to show you how to multiply that into more properties so that people are paying you, and their rent is going to go to your retirement. Wouldn't that be nice? 407-250-9144. That's 407-250-9144, or webringyouhome.com. To get into any of my classes, I would love to have you, but it is a register in advance. I have limited seats available. These are live classes. These are no longer Zoom. I'm so excited about that, and I'd love to have you join me for my class on Wednesday the 20th from 6 to 7:30. But go to webringyouhome.com You can also call or text me at 407-250-9144. If you'd like to get into a home right now, I'm here to help you. If you want to move up to a bigger home or become a landlord or buy investment properties or a condo on the beach, you feel free to call me. Don't worry about interest rates being higher. Hey guys, they're higher and they're going a lot higher. We're going to do a refinance when they come back down. Don't worry. But it's still a good time to buy. 407-250-9144 or Cleve Loveland at 407-352-8118. Have a great weekend. God bless each and every one of you, and thank you for listening to the Loveland Report and the Loan Arranger Radio Show. Tune in tomorrow at 11 o'clock for the Loan Arranger Radio Show.